Yo, guys, what's up, and welcome back to the Marvelous Chats podcast. This is episode 195. Tonight on the cast is myself, Finto, and Alex, aka Zaberwolf. We're going to be talking about the Daredevil Born Again season 2 finale. We're going to be talking about The Boys. We're going to be talking about Invincible, the Maul, Shadow Lord show, and much, much more. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Leave us a comment below if you're watching a video or if you're watching the replay. And if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple, leave us a like and a review. It really helps out the channel. Without further ado, here we go. Yo, yo, yo.
Hey, man.
How are you, buddy?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's been a while since we sat down. I think it's like 2 weeks now, so a lot to talk about. We've got so many, like a lot of the shows that we were kind of stacking up to talk about on a weekly basis are now kind of all coming to an end. Which is, it's good and bad, I suppose. It's nice to kind of not have such a full plate, but at the same time, it's sad to see some of them go because, in my opinion, TV's just been absolutely epic in April and May. It's so far like it's insane. It's insane. Like we
I hear you.
can't ask for any better. How have you been? How's work going? How's all your sports and stuff?
Been busy. Works pretty good. Just a lot of new things that are going on, and when I got in, like I'm still kind of learning things here, and it's kind of interesting how within like the first week of starting with the team, my lead goes, "Hey, so I'm gonna involve you in our lead meetings because I like the way that you stand out and you push stuff." I'm like, "Well, great. Now I'm a lead again." I haven't done leadership stuff in quite a while, so it's a nice change of pace. It should be fine. It's a little nerve-wracking though, because they're like, "Okay, I need you to assign different jobs to these different to different people," and I'm like, "All right, so why like in my head I'm like, why do you trust me so much with all this work?" And they're like, "Well, you have knowledge, you have prior knowledge of things, you have prior knowledge of all the other things that are in like your previous team. So like you probably have a larger know-how, even though you may sound like you don't." So I'm like, all right. So
Hey,
to be fair, like I mean, I do understand it. So like I guess they're right. It's just weird.
Cool. Good, man.
Yeah.
Keep it coming. Obviously we have a lot to talk about this week, so I kind of want to just dive straight in. I presume, I think since we're a Marvel channel, we'll talk about Daredevil first. That just finished today. If there's anybody who's listening now who hasn't seen the finale of Daredevil, I'm going to throw one of these up on the screen. Little spoiler warning, but we will be going into it. It was pretty epic. If you're obviously, maybe mute for a few minutes and come back to the stream, but yeah, it was a big one. We'll definitely talk about that first, and then maybe I'll let you kind of take the floor from there. You can decide what we talk about next. We've got, obviously, we never finished talking about Invincible. The finale was last week. We never talked about it's been a couple of weeks since we talked about The Boys. Obviously, we're both Supernatural fans as well, so last week's episode was a pretty big one with The Boys in it. And what else do we have? God, there's so much going on. Invincible, The Boys. I don't know if you got around to talk about the Maul show. That finished on Monday as well, which was Star Wars Day, May the 4th, which was pretty epic as well. So yeah, a lot to talk about. Let's just jump straight into Daredevil. Did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished it.
Some of the comments that we get on the mobile stream are hilarious, man.
Yeah, I just assume they're random people.
They are.
Or,
they
like
definitely
bots.
are. Life gives you lemons. Wipe your ass with what the fuck. Oh, so funny, man. Let's go. What's up, Andre? What did you think of the season? Because I know, like, again, I've been for the last couple of weeks. You hadn't seen it, so you were playing catch up, and I was trying to not talk about it too much, just to kind of, I didn't want to ruin a lot of things that were going on in the show for you as well, and let you kind of experience them firsthand. But you've kind of watched it all in 2 weeks, pretty much, I would say, right? What did you think of it? Kind of as a
Pretty
binge.
much. I mean, to be completely honest, like it's okay. I think that there were a lot of like strong suits in certain episodes, but at the same time, like I don't necessarily remember things too well, like for this season. Um, it almost feels like it's a blur in my head right now. Like I don't know. It just didn't. It just like after everything is said and done, it's like yeah, like once we got to the finale of it, it got like really intense. There were some great fight scenes. You know, it started building up and whatnot, and you know, of course, they do this finale of like the you know the courtroom scene and trying to essentially mark Fisk as you know the evil and uh revealing you know Matt Murdock as Daredevil, which you know it was going to be obvious at some point because you know once Fisk knew who Murdock was, it was like, well, he's got that strong suit against him. He's pretty much can blackmail him if he wanted to, but you know Matt's the man with no fear. So like, what's the point of it? So he was going to do it himself eventually, which I kind of figured. And because we saw like the Iron Man situation and whatnot, like I kind of it was kind of like a fitting nod to that whole like, well, who are you? Or like, are you, you know, who are you really? Like, we can't believe this person. Like, there's no way you're the man with no fear. There's no way you're a vigilante. And you know, it was fitting. It's like it's kind of like the Iron Man kind of situation. And I know I sound like I'm rambling, but like that's kind of like the only thing I can really get from it was like just this buildup of these characters that I didn't really care too much about, like because they were trying to put everything on a grander scale with all of these different characters. And you know, I like, I don't know, man. I don't know if the show was for me, to be honest. Like I think it was too much, almost too much yapping for a show that we've already had plenty of yapping from.
Um, that's interesting. Like I don't know, man. I really enjoyed the season. I thought, you know, obviously it got kind of got off to a good start, and then like by the time we come around to the middle of it, like from episode 4, which was the one where Bullseye basically killed Vanessa, and like Kingpin just went off the rails. Like from there, for me, like the show, I felt like it was back to the greatness of the Netflix show. I thought it was just phenomenal, very intense, good action, good, you know, just solid performances from everybody. Bullseye himself just kind of stole the show for me this season. Um, you know, Matt's obviously like again struggling. Should I kill this guy? He deserves to die, but I can't. It's against his like his moral code, his religious code. He can't kill people. You know, I thought the internal struggles with him were phenomenal. Charlie Cox obviously, you know, doing what he does best. Obviously then episode 6 we get Jessica Jones into the MCU for the first time. I thought that was really cool. We find out she has a daughter. You know, it's insinuated that it's Luke Cage, and then at the very end of the show, we get to see Luke in the after credit scene, or what was it, an after credit scene, or just the last scene of the series or of the series. Luke shows up. It was pretty sick. I like him as an actor. He's cool. So yeah, like I don't know. For me, I thought it was really cool. Obviously, you know, I really liked James Gandolfini's son in the show. He was phenomenal. He had a really sad kind of send off. You know, kind of went out on a shield to protect the girl that he liked, and it was cool. It was kind of mobster. It was kind of Sopranos like. You know, I thought I was just sitting there thinking, man, his dad would be so proud of him. Like he did such a good job. Like he was phenomenal in the show.
Mhm.
Um, Finale I thought was really really cool. Like obviously we had like multiple kind of hallway scenes, Jessica and Matt fighting together. Obviously the court scene was great as well. You know, back to basics, I think, a lot in the show, which was good because I don't know if they were kind of getting the vibes of season 1 when they were writing this and probably thinking to themselves like, okay, we're kind of obviously not on the right track. We know season 1 as well had a lot of rewrites and all this sort of stuff. Season 1 was shaky. We all know this. And I kind of feel like by the end of season 2, like definitely the back half of season 2 was Netflix 100%, in my opinion. I thought it was brilliant. Like it was Daredevil season 4, you know, not Born Again season 2. It really felt like a continuation of the original show, and I was completely down for it. I thought it was great. Like I'm looking at the ratings on IMDb here, like with like 14,000 reviews. Episode 4, which is the one where Vanessa gets killed, or well, the boxing match one where she actually gets hurt. She dies in the next episode, but that got a 9.4. Next episode was a 9. Next one was a 9. Next one was an 8.9, and the finale has a 9.6 at the moment. Like, which, in my opinion, I think are all very valid scores. I thought the season was absolutely brilliant. Um, I like how it's kind of building up to things again. We kind of know where the MCU is kind of going. We've seen the Spider-Man trailer. We always knew Fisk wasn't going to be in office. Like Spider-Man's getting the key of the city and all that sort of stuff. So we kind of knew where this was going anyway, but it was nice to kind of see it connect. I'm always talking about connective tissue and how important it is. And it's nice to kind of see them doing that, obviously where the show ends, spoiler alert, but basically Matt outs himself as Daredevil in the courtroom to kind of put the final nail in Fisk's coffin, and basically the events of a final kind of New York hostage situation, like riots in the streets break out, and basically Fisk is given a deal, which I thought was hilarious because like like in the show he's like, the attorney general's like, take a deal, just fuck off, like, revoke your citizenship of New York City, like, just leave. We just want you out of here. We'll let you go. Just please leave. And it's like this guy has gone after getting that offer, has gone and probably killed like 20 people in that riot.
Mhm.
I would say easily, like viciously killed like 20 people. He walks out covered in blood, has that big fight at the end. And then, we fade to the after scene or whatever you want to call it, and it's like, him and like Matt and Karen are on a date and the police come to arrest him. And then it cuts to Kingpin and he's chilling on a beach. It's like, he just killed 20 people. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, how is he allowed to just walk? Like, I understand they just want, like, they just want to get rid of him or whatever, but like they gave him the deal to walk, which is fair enough. And then after the fact, he just goes and kills 20 innocent people. Like, it was absolutely wild. But it was so cool to see, like, when he picks the dude up and he's like breaking his back off the wall and all. It was vicious. Like, it was so cool. So yeah, I don't know. Like, again, I've seen some behind the scenes stuff from season 3, and there's like a picture of him going around where he's in like a trench coat and he's got a big beard and stuff. He looks like Santa Claus. So like, obviously, I don't know if he comes back to New York and he's in hiding or something and he's grown the beard to try and blend in or whatever. But like, it's not the end of Fisk. He will be back in the next season. I was
Mhm.
only listening to Charlie Cox was on a podcast there the other day and he was kind of asked, like, like, are you going to be in the MCU? Like, like, are you going to cross over into the films and stuff like that? And I think he will, but I just, obviously they're not allowed to talk about it, but his official line was that Feige is telling him to focus on this show and nothing else. I don't believe that. Like, I really believe that he's going to be in Spider-Man 4. Just with the way that this ended as well. Like, we see Peter going into a prison break. Like, I think he'll probably break Daredevil out.
Mhm.
And then like they did the whole kind of, that like scene at the end of the trailer where he's jumping towards the Hand, and like obviously the Hand and Daredevil, like I think like maybe the Hand are coming in to kill Daredevil and maybe Spidey goes to help him or something. I don't know. Because he knows, obviously now everyone knows who Matt Murdock is, and Matt Murdock was Spidey's attorney at one point. So, he knows, oh shit, that dude's Daredevil. Like, he was my lawyer. Like, that's how we got the brick sort of thing. Like, I'm sure they might do a little scene in the movie, which I think would be fucking sweet. And obviously, next week we have the Punisher finale. The presentation or whatever they want to call it, like the hour long kind of mini movie or whatever they want to call it. And I think that's gonna just tie directly into Spider-Man, which is coming out in the summer. So Marvel are kind of trucking on, obviously as well. Like, the big one, we obviously have Doomsday at the end of the year. Like, but like it's good. It's good, man. This is the best I've felt about Marvel in a couple of years. Is this year. I think there's a lot of hope out there this year. Like, this was excellent. This was what I wanted last season. This was how I was hoping I would feel after season 1. Um, and now we've obviously got a Punisher series like produced and written by John Bernthal, so it's going to be true to the character. And then that
Mhm.
goes straight into Spider-Man 4, which looks great. And then we got Doomsday at the end of the year. Like, we're eating good. We're eating good. I'm surprised you didn't like it, man. I really am.
I feel like after a while it was kind of just it's just like it becomes a real rinse and repeat, and it doesn't necessarily bring a lot more into the fray. Um I mean, I'm sure, like, there are good episodes. I'm not going to deny that, but I don't know. I just wasn't. I don't know. A part of me feels like I wasn't even really trying to pay attention. I was just kind of like, yeah. I just I don't know. It just didn't really click with me. I wasn't trying to like. I wasn't feeling like I was getting invested.
I bet you weren't even really even paying attention. I bet you were gaming on one monitor and watching it on the other or something. I have a feeling. I have a feeling you weren't really truly paying attention.
Well, when something catches my eye while I'm gaming, I will stop gaming, but
That's
it
so.
never did. So like it has to pass the
I'm
test of
calling
whether
you
or
out,
not.
bro. I'm calling you out.
That's fine. You can call me out. I do. I do it all the time. I even do it for the boys. Like I did it for the boys. I did it for Invincible. I would like, but I stopped for
Yeah,
Invincible. I
Invincible was so
stopped
good, man.
in some cases for the boys. I
Hmm.
didn't stop for all the episodes. For
Yeah,
Daredevil, I just kept playing and listening.
yeah.
Like it just doesn't it didn't hit the way I really wanted it to.
Mm.
I don't know what was missing. I don't like I'm not saying that the season was bad or anything. I don't know. I just didn't I guess it just wasn't for me this series. After Netflix, like it just feels like it just feels like another show. And I don't know what's up with that. Like
I suppose
it,
he is Daredevil too, right? Like he doesn't have that many like big style like villains that he could go against. Like it's
it
Kingpin and the Hand, and like it's all kind of been done. I understand what you're saying. I still find it entertaining, but like next season feels like they're going to do it Defenders again. It's literally already been done, so it's yeah, like you're not wrong, but I
yeah, but
suppose the same thing could be said for any of these superhero things. Like it is all a rinse and repeat, really. At the end of the day, like Star
it's
Wars is a
only
rinse and repeat. It's all a rinse and repeat, really, when you think about it.
well, yeah, I see what you're saying, but like I'm saying that it's only a rinse and repeat when every subsequent season is just about one villain. And to be fair, to be completely fair, we have shows, we have animated live action shows where the main villain is absolutely this character and is this character for the end of all time, basically. You got He-Man, and then you have Skeletor. You have I was gonna say Thundercats, but I don't know shit about the Thundercats. You've got I don't know, like you've got all these different. You got like I can't
Batman and
name
Joker.
name them all. Batman, the Joker, like that's done to death, dude. But like at
So,
least
man,
there's iterations that you can pick off of and move with. It's not consistently going into the same situation with Joker every single time. It's always some sort of different iteration with it. That's why there's different comic series. That's why there's different universes that we can go through. And even if you were to go through the animated series, yeah, you have the Joker every once in a while, but that's every once in a while.
hmm
Whereas like you'll have your episode with the Joker, and then all of a sudden you have an episode about Baby Doll, or then you have another episode about I forgot the one dude that's like a ventriloquist, and he's got a gangster puppet that he's like controlling. I can't remember who.
Toy Maker or something, is it?
It could be Toy. No,
You're talking about DC, right?
maybe. Yeah,
Yeah, Toy. I think his name's Toy Maker. The Toy
is it
Maker
Toy
or something.
Maker? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Well, and then you have like Zaz, you have Calendar Man, you have like all these different characters, and it's kind of like you know villain of the week in the sense, and I
Mhm.
like that. I like that there's multiple enemies that come about and cause mayhem and do different shit, and sometimes they're goofy and wacky and sometimes they're really serious. um it's fresh, it keeps everything lively, and then when we have to get into like the nitty gritty of things, of course we're gonna have like 3 or 4 episodes of the Joker, especially if it's like a series portion where I don't know, he takes over part of Gotham,
Mhm.
and essentially like some shit goes down. There's double crossing, all this kind of shit. Like basically, like creates a mini story within the grander story.
Yeah.
And so that's what I want. Um, in the same kind of like way that you see like for the boys, it's very much in that kind of like schema, but it's more so subtle in the fact that it's not explicitly saying that these are the villains. It's just saying that like these are the soups that we're going to be observing to like this week. Oh, and also Homelander's up to some shit on the side. So like when you saw those two soups who were like recording like different products that they were trying to like showcase on social media,
Yeah.
that's kind of the thing. It's like you get like a breath of fresh air. You don't just get Homelander all day every day. You don't just get the Deep all day every day. You like, it takes time. It gives you a moment to breathe and just think about, oh shit, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
And it's like, kind of bringing into that moment. Season 2 of Daredevil Born Again, as much as the ratings show that it was that they were great, I just
The
like
ratings were terrible.
well, no, the first couple episodes were terrible. It started picking up and then it dropped for one episode and then it picked up again.
Are you talking about the viewership or the score, like the actual like score?
The actual scores.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were talking about viewership for a second. The viewership has been horrendous, and
Yeah, because
like people have lost faith. I know, but like I'm curious to see, because again, this is like a big talking point online, and I kind of hate when people focus on the metrics too much, because like it's like the streaming numbers are like the North of America only, like they're not global numbers, and they're like for the first 2 episodes or something like that. Whereas the end of the season has been almost like perfection, like for what it should be and what it can be. And it's going to be interesting if they release like full numbers to see if it like grew like from word of mouth and stuff. But like people, like I've been seeing people online, it's like, oh yeah, it didn't even make the top 10. I'm not going to bother watching it. It's like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, just watch it and see if you like it. Like, I just don't get that mentality at all.
no, and I agree with you on that. The
It
only
did have a
reason
couple of
why
down. It had a couple of down episodes. I'll agree with you, but I think I looked this up. Like the lowest rated episode on IMDb is like a 7.9 for season 2, which is like pretty high in my opinion. Like you're talking an
it,
8, like rounded up to an 8. Like it is an 8.
it's high for us, it's low for the viewership. Like
Um,
it's essentially a non-existent episode. Like people will downvote that one pretty hard if it wasn't good enough.
I just think it was though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I
but that's the
think it's
thing is like
great.
you're right, but you're the niche person. You're the one that loves this character so much. You're
Well, I
willing to
didn't
watch
love season
every
1
single.
though. I will agree that season 1 was like, I'm not just like blindly swallowing everything that they throw at us. Like like there was a lot of bullshit in season 1. So I will call them out on it when they like. I'm not just gonna blindly accept anything from them. But like
Mhm.
episode 2 scored a 7.9 with 11,000 votes on IMDb. Like, and it's. I think I don't disagree with any of these ratings. Like I think they're all good. Like they all make sense. I think it's a good average. It's just it's interesting to see that it's not making the streaming numbers, like, but I don't think that's a relevant thing, like, for to actually review the show by that, like, oh hey, nobody's watching it on Disney Plus. Like the amount of people that torrent it, like, that illegally download it around the world, like, would be mind-blowing. Like that would be more than the official like viewer numbers on Disney Plus. I can guarantee you that. you know and then, like,
Mhm.
obviously you've got all the different, like, people like subscribing to it through a different cable package or whatever. Like I'm sure they're not like tracking that sort of stuff like here in Ireland and the UK and all that sort of stuff and throughout Europe and stuff. So I think the
Mhm.
numbers are way bigger. Like if you're gonna fucking focus on that sort of stuff, like, I think the global numbers are where they probably need to be. Because like they're filming season 3 already, and they've already pre-approved season 4 as well. So they have to
Is it
be.
more Fisk?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I presume Fisk will be in season 3, but I don't know where season 3 is going to go. Like, as I say, like, Daredevil doesn't have too many, definitely not very well known villains. He does obviously have villains and stuff, but like, what do they like? They're not going to do Frank Castle again, because he's kind of stepped into the kind of anti-hero role at this stage. Like, they're not going to do. I don't think they'll do like a full season of Fisk. I think Fisk will be in there somewhere. Um, do they do the hand again and it ties into Spider-Man 4? Maybe. I don't know. But again, maybe they do the hand and that's why the defenders return. I honestly don't know.
Well,
Um,
I mean, there's your problem is that like you don't know,
well,
like, and that
I
shouldn't
don't know, but they know.
right,
They know
right,
what
but
they're doing.
that should never be that should never be like your responses. I don't know what they're gonna do next. Like
Well,
it
like,
should be no. Hear me out. Like it's all in the way that you say it. You're like, I don't know what's gonna happen next. It's like, okay, well, that sounds like we're just gonna get more Fisk, or maybe we'll get the hand in Fisk, or maybe we'll get like it feels like Fisk is gonna come back at like somehow, like
well,
either halfway through, near the end of it, and whatnot, and we're just gonna get a rinse and repeat of the same shit.
well, I think it's at this point it is as much Vincent D'Onofrio show as it is Matt Murdock show. You know what I mean? Like he is like kind of part of it. Like it's kind of like Thanos and the Infinity fucking saga. Like, you know, it's like he's always kind of there. So I don't
Yep.
know.
Well, like if he was always kind of there, he'd not be there for a minute and actually like
I think that's what we're getting next, though. I
I
suppose
doubt it.
he wasn't really that involved in season two. I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, like the original season two, because that was all about the hand and stuff. So like Fisk kind of took a back seat then. So
Which was
I,
great, right?
yeah, I don't
And
know.
then
Like
you get season 3 and it's doing like numbers.
maybe he'll just go back to being the actual Kingpin. You know, like I want to see him like being like Spider-Man 5. Yeah, I want to see him actually on the big screen.
Well,
Because
I mean, it's just like in my head, it's like, well, what's the point? Like he's already been exiled essentially.
but now he can just go back to being the Kingpin,
Doing what?
running New York like as he should, as he does.
Hell, the people hate him.
Yeah, but like he doesn't run it publicly. Like he runs it in the underground. Like he has been as the Kingpin
Dude,
for the entire thing up until the last like 2 seasons when he decided to go public.
like that's the thing is like I'm sure there's a way to kind of figure this out and make it so that people like him again. Like I'm sure he'll just strong arm his way into getting back into New York at some point, or Hell's Kitchen. Sorry, like it's just like they set it in stone so strongly to make you think that like, oh, he's just never gonna come back. And of course, like he'll probably come back.
There'll be something along the lines of again, I don't read too many, like I don't read any fucking Daredevil comic books, so I don't know how they do it in the comics, but I would guess that they're probably going to do something along the lines of like there'll be some new threat that will come along, like some, you know, gang or underground thing or something that will happen on a street level in Daredevil, and then we'll find out that it actually is Kingpin pulling all the strings all along again.
No, we're what we're gonna do is team up with Kingpin. We're just gonna team up with him, and now he's a good guy.
Maybe he might ring
No,
and
no.
just be like, "Hey, Wilson, the hand are a little out of control here. You know, I know you love New York, but it might be gone soon." Or maybe it's like, "Hey, there's this guy, Doctor Doom, who's just come along and he's like looking to wipe out all of reality.
It's
Wilson,
just
can
so
you come
tongue
and
in
help
cheek,
us?"
though. It's so tongue in cheek, though, man. I don't like it.
No, I'm joking, man. I'm joking.
I know, man. It's
I
just like
I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, I think they're setting up Lady fucking Muse next season with his ex. Like,
dude, I called
that's
it.
coming.
I called that. Like,
Yeah,
I fucking like it was so apparent.
there had to be
And
a reason why they were showing her so much, because it made no sense. Because it's
yeah,
like, why do we really give a shit about this person? Like, you know, she's kind of irrelevant now after the events of season one, and then boom, here we go. Yeah, they're building it up.
it was just so on the nose, man. I was like a little disappointed at how they did that.
Yeah, it happens, man. There's like things where some of it just is so blatantly obvious that you're just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like I think I didn't need to see leaks of season 3 to know that Luke Cage was going to be in it. Like, you know, it was all very obvious to where it was going, but it's, I don't know. Like, I suppose again, it ended very well for me. I'm very excited for season 3. If they keep this trajectory going, yeah, long may it last. Just give us some good villains. I don't know if they can, you know, maybe adapt some other New York villains.
There's
Maybe
70
I don't know.
there's 70,000 named characters in Marvel. Pick any of them.
Well, it's like, are they allowed to? Like, you know, I think
I'm sure they would. Like the only ones we've ever heard on paper are Spider-Man and like a couple others that are like just kind of owned by other companies. But like other than that, like just fucking dude, like why did they do Mr. Immortal and then just write him off as like such an old fuck that, you know, apparently is weird. Like they take these characters and then they just shit all over them on a different show, and then we never see them again. So why don't you just do the same thing with Daredevil? Why don't you just give us something like that? Why don't you give us 8 Ball? Fucking give us 8 Ball. Like, just throw 8 Ball going down the street causing mayhem, and then fucking Daredevil comes through and beats the shit out of him. I would take that over anything. Give me fuck it. Hell's Kitchen has vampires in it now. Blade shows up, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, let's do a team up. And so there you go. You got another guy that's nearby. But then again, I mean, I would prefer Moon Knight and do the it's just so infuriating to think that you have to stick with just one villain for like 50 fucking episodes, like 50 episodes to 3 or 4 seasons and whatnot. Yes, if they're beloved, that's great. Love it. But it's just like, I don't know. Like, it's just easy. It's easy feed, man. I'm tired of easy feeding. I want Invincible style shit. Like, there was a whole episode that was just based on the fucking the Mars thing. The sectoids.
Yeah.
Like, that was so good. That was such a great moment. And it's still tied into like what was going on in the story. You could totally branch out.
I was just looking it up because I was just curious, because again, you're making the points that like Fisk is in every episode. And the original Netflix show had 39 episodes, and Fisk was in 27 of them. So, he did miss a bit of a chunk of it. Like, he wasn't in every episode. But I get your point, of course. You're not talking gibberish.
I just think it's weird that we don't have other like villains. Like, we have all these heroes in different spots. Where are the villains? Like, even when we were watching like Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse, we at least had different villains, like even from different universes. Even if they were different iterations, it was cool to see different iterations of those villains.
Spider-Man has so many though, and so many epic ones as well. Like, I think he's a bad example.
Daredevil fights the same fucking villains. Like, Daredevil can fight MODOK. Daredevil can go up against anybody. Like, Captain America has gone up against MODOK. Hulk has gone up against MODOK. Like, everybody fights everyone in Marvel, and that's the problem. Is that we don't. It's
different on the page, though. It's different on the page, and I think it's down to like movie rights and stuff like that. Like, I was listening to Charlie Cox talk about this, and apparently he wasn't even allowed. Like, after the Netflix show ended, he wasn't even allowed to talk to Kevin Feige for 2 years. There was a clause in the contract when they released it to Marvel that he wasn't even allowed to speak to Kevin Feige for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think then there's obviously contractual obligations for this and that, and we can't start taking Fox villains and Sony villains and just dropping them in here. Like, I just think there's just all this real world bullshit that just gets in the way and just ruins it for everybody. And I'm really hoping that by the time we get around to actually rebooting the MCU, all that will be gone, and we could just do page to screen, page to TV, page to anime. Do it just give us Marvel Comics in real life. I think we're a lot closer to that now than we have been ever. But I think there's a lot of red tape everywhere. And I think that's part of the reason. Like, I'm sure the people who make this show are probably right. Like, hey, I read all these comic runs. Like, can we get this villain? And they're like, actually, we can't. They're tied up with Sony, or they're tied up with Fox, and that's lingering on because we still have Deadpool around and all this shit. Like, I think they don't actually have free reign, even though it is all under Marvel. I think they've just sold so many IPs out separately to different publishers and different fucking networks and all this shit. So it's just a mess, but I think hopefully in the next couple of years, like in 10 years time, I would say it'll all be straightened out. That's my hope anyway.
Yeah. By that time, we're going to have other artists that are way better at setting up storylines that create comics that will essentially be, reimagined into something animated or otherwise, like with Invincible. Like, we're not going to Invincible's not a gem. It's just a fine, it's a fine diamond that we found for now. We're going to get plenty of them later.
Yeah, I think Invincible as well. They'll probably finish it out through anime, and then they'll probably try and do a live action adaptation of it somehow, whether big screen or small screen. They'll definitely try and bring it to live action as well. I'd say. I'd be shocked if it
Which
didn't.
I I I hope they don't.
I think they
I
will.
hope they don't.
I think they
Like
will.
I like if anything, make an animated movie.
Yeah.
It's so much easier. It's so much better. It's not going to have that big of a it's not going to have that big of an issue with being able to CG everything or like get all of the animations for like the blood, the gore, like all of the violence that you would want from it. It's so hard to do that, and I know that The Boys is a good example of like actually doing it. But if you think about it, it's only bits and pieces that you get literally. Um, it that scene in the house with like with the whole crew, like basically from Supernatural, like it that was fun because that was like a string of deaths, which was cool. Like it happened like one by one. It wasn't just like, but at the same time, I don't know. Like it just feels like Invincible has a much stronger like idea about how to set it up, and it's because it's animated. Like, and I say this multiple times, like just like for things that take so much effort to set up, just make them animated. It runs so much better. You'll I like I don't know if it costs more. If it does, that's crazy. But
I,
like
I don't understand how. Yeah, again, I don't know how much it's cost on Amazon to make that show, but it seems like they're trying to do it on a budget, or maybe they're just trying to churn them out quicker or something. But the animation is awful. Like it's so bad. But
I could give
it oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't like
yeah.
it's that good that it doesn't matter. But at the same time, it is fucking terrible. Like, and there's you might see a couple of sequences where you're like, oh, this must be where all the money from the season went because like this is properly animated, and then like the rest of it is just like it looks like I could do it on my laptop myself. Like, like it's just like really, really bad. Like, and it's just very out there. And I almost think it's an inside joke. Like, Seth Rogen and all them are just sitting around smoking weed, like joking, going, let's see how shit we can make this. And let's see how,
Mhm.
like, how bad we can do it and see, like, how much we can get away with. Like, will they accept us literally just like, moving Omni Man out of the like looking like we're dragging and dropping him out of the frame, like like when he flies off with Debbie, it like literally looks like they're just editing like a still frame and just dragging it up to the out of the frame, like it's
That saves
it's
money. That saves money.
yeah, or like all the still frames where they just have them like slightly panned to the side or left or right, or they'll have them all literally just standing in a freeze frame, just laughing, and then it's like music playing, and yeah, I don't know. Like again, I don't give a shit. The show's that good that like I would sit and watch freeze frames. Like I would sit and watch somebody just reading the comic book, like with a camera over their desk. Like it's that good. Like I just want to know the story. Like it is that strong. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
what like the future is for all this stuff. I think it's AI, honestly. Like again, I always harp on about it, but every time we sit down, I've seen some new like Star Wars AI, and it just keeps getting better and better and better. The Star Wars Chronicles page just put out like a 45-minute film that like ties some of the like deleted scenes from episode 6 into like an extended story of what happened between 5 and 6. And I sat there and like pretty much watched the whole thing. It was fucking crazy, so cool, and like they're cleverly like kind of re-imaging deleted scenes from like 1980 and like making them look fresh and making them look new and adding in like dialogue sequences in between these scenes and stuff like. And honestly, in 6 months time I think it's going to be indistinguishable from real life, and in 5 years time I think I could probably, like, me and you could probably sit here and we'll say, okay, let's take like Ultimate Spider-Man issue 12. I'm just looking down, it's the first comic book I see, and it's like we'll just take that comic book and just tell AI turn Ultimate Spider-Man issue 26 from 26, turn that into a live action movie for us starring Tom Holland and whatever. And away it goes. And an hour later, it'll just pump out a full movie to us. Like, I really feel like that's where it's going. It's going to be insane. And I think like
Mhm.
that's where the studios will go. They'll just all be putting their money into that. And whether they use real actors to just dub over it like they would like voice up an anime or something, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe like Tom Holland just sells his likeness to Disney and Sony, and they churn out for the rest of the time. I honestly don't know. Like it could really go that way. Like the way like in like Batman, he's like drawn a certain way for years and years. Like maybe they just
Yeah.
get an actor to just be the drawing for or the be the stencil for the next 15, 20 years. Like doesn't age a
Mhm.
day. All these movies take place in the same 5 years of like his college years, but it's spread across like 12 different movies or something. Like I just think, yeah, I think anything's going to be possible. Like just the fact that I'm like sitting back almost daily and watching like 1980s Mark Hamill get up to adventures that we only dreamed about as Star Wars fans as kids. We're just getting to watch them now by some random dude sitting in a room like this on his computer, just throwing commands into AI. It's fucking
Yeah,
wild. It's
that
wild, man.
works
It's
really
wild.
well, and I like it.
Yeah, yeah, that's the future, I think. To be honest. Um, what do you want to do? Like, I'll let you talk about something here. If you pick the next topic that we talk about, do you want to talk about Invincible? Do you want to talk about the boys? Do you want to talk about something else?
Let's do the boys.
Okay. Um, I think the last time we sat down was 2 weeks ago, so that would have been like episode 6 or 4. Sorry, this is tonight's episode was episode 6, I think. Yeah.
Hmm.
So we have 5 and 6 since we last spoke. 5 was the big episode. I knew it was coming the whole week. It's one of the lower rated episodes for the season, which I was kind of sad about because I had very high hopes for this, being a gigantic Supernatural fan, as people know who listen to this. I knew the boys were coming the entire time. I sat there for the whole episode just going, where the fuck is Jared? Where's Misha? Where the fuck are they? And the episode was titled One Shots, so I kind of knew we were gonna start flipping and flopping around the place and getting, some backstories or whatever. Which I thought, obviously makes sense as to how we get introduced to just some random characters throughout the episode and never see them
Hmm.
again. I thought it made sense. I did feel like it kind of fell a little flat when it came down to it. Like it's the whole scene kind of felt like just a big joke. Like Sam's just running. I'm just gonna call him Sam. Jared Padalecki's just running around, like literally, like turning people into blood bags, and I don't know, just felt kind of stupid. And then, like, obviously, he just gets his head stomped and just dies straight away. Like, I kind of had a feeling that he wasn't going to be in it for long. I kind of hoped that it might be more than just 5 minutes. I thought it was. I think I'd said this weeks and weeks ago. I hope it's not just like 5 minutes and then he's gone forever, sort of thing. Like, it would be nice to have him kind of stick around for a little bit. But it is what we got. What we got, and that's the end. Obviously, I know the show's ending in like 3 episodes, so it would have just been nice to maybe let him live throughout the thing, so that if they did Gen V season 3, which we now know is not happening, it's been cancelled. But maybe if they did another show, he could show up somewhere else because like Jared's not a very big actor. I would
Hmm.
easily say if they did like Gen V season 3, they could probably sign him as like a regular to something like that. Or if they did like a different sort of spin-off show or a prequel show or something like that, they could easily use him. I think he's not as busy as Jensen, and kind of doesn't land like as big roles as he does. So I know Jensen has his own show coming out, the Vought Rising, and I think that's probably going to be the last boys project that we see. But that's set like in the 40s. Like it's kind of like our Captain America 1, like I presume. It's kind of like, the first Avenger movie. Like it's going to be like a series set back when he first gets his powers and so on, and during the war and all that sort of stuff. Like, and maybe they do it
Hmm.
periodically, like, they'll move into the 50s and 60s and 70s and so on. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do for that show. I haven't really heard much about it, but yeah, I don't know. I just felt like that episode was real gimmicky. It was nice to see all the guys together again, and the two of them sitting there like doing lines of coke and all. Like I was laughing, man. It was funny. Like it was just like, I don't know. It was it was funny, and like Misha was just like, yeah, it was just there. It was just one of the guys. It was funny to see Seth Rogen as well. I don't know if you spend a lot of time on social media, but the day after the episode aired, I thought it was hilarious. Like everyone was like putting up all these like what looked like real like RIP posts for Seth Rogen and everything, and like you
Hmm.
could you could tell the people who didn't watch the boys because they're just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Seth Rogen's alive. Like, what are you talking about? He's not dead now. And then you like people in the comments like, oh, yeah, this guy doesn't watch the boys. You can tell. But I thought that was very funny. They were like, who are they going to get to voice Alan on like Invincible and stuff? Like it was like people having these like genuine conversations. It was very funny. Like I thought that
That's
was
great.
funnier. I thought that was funnier than the actual episode, which is kind of sad to say, but look, it is what it is. Um, And then this week's episode, I just got finished watching it before we went live. Again, it wasn't bad. It wasn't amazing either. Like I think the last couple of weeks have felt a little flat to me. Like, and I think it's again. I know the end is very close. There's only 2 episodes left, and like Kripke's online saying a lot of people aren't going to be happy with the end and stuff like that. So I think like I can feel the impending doom of the end of the show coming, and I'm kind of scared because I'm like I don't know if they're gonna like the show. I've loved the show from week one. I've thought it's like I've been watching it from day one. I thought it's been fantastic for the first few seasons, and even Gen V. I like Gen V. I was surprised to hear that got cancelled, honestly. But at the same time, I don't know how those shows continue without the main show. Like if the main show ends, are people going to be interested in watching Gen V without the main show? I don't think so, unless they start bringing in like the deep and stuff and main characters into the show. If they survive the show, that is, I don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks, but um, yeah, I don't think the VOT universe or whatever the VCU as they call it. I don't think the VCU continues without the main show. What do you think? Are you liking it? Hating
Yeah,
it?
with
Indifferent?
the boys.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it. I think it's going pretty well. It's not it like whatever charm that it had in the previous seasons hasn't really followed into the next season. So
mhm,
like it's a little lackluster in some areas, but
yeah,
to I mean it's still good. It's still something to kind of like wonder and be curious about. I think that when it comes to like Homelander, they're really focusing on him this season, more so than we have in the previous seasons. Because we when it came to the previous seasons, it was more so like there was a theme going on, and we had to kind of follow that theme, and Homelander would be involved here and there. And in this situation, Homelander is the theme,
yeah,
because he really wants that V1, and it becomes more apparent as time goes on in each episode for the season that like they're getting closer and closer. They're aware of V1. Homelander's like slowly closing in on this whole situation and becoming more and more designed to be revered as a god by the humans, which that's great, until he realizes the mistakes he made, like by knowing that he's just going to live forever, and unless he wants to like rule over all humans at this point. um I don't know how this is going to turn out. I wonder if it's gonna be like Soldier Boy has to take him out at the end of things, and
that's what
killing him.
that's what I think is going to happen. I because
Basically
the
they
way he took away the powers from your man, like so he wiped your man full of V1 and everything. So we know it's possible that Soldier Boy can kill him, and I think
right.
what's probably going to happen. I think um I think Homelander's going to obviously now he's invincible. He's going to go into like the Oval Office, take over the United States. He'll be sitting, he's the president, he's the ruler of the world. And I think he's going to go too far. He's just going to start like killing people left and right. And just, I think Soldier Boy's probably going to realize, okay, this guy's actually out of control. I need to take him out. Like it's gone too far.
Mhm.
I think that's probably what's going to happen. My missus kind of thought like, I wonder is Kripke saying that maybe people won't like the end because maybe like Homelander wins. Maybe Homelander like literally fucking kills everybody and like everyone's gone. Like all the cast die, and then it's just Homelander at the end, and he's just literally ruling the world, and that's how the show ends. Because I think there's a scene. There was a scene in one of the trailers where he like literally does like a Superman. He goes into space and he's looking over the planet. Like maybe that's
Mhm.
like one of the final shots of the show. It's just him like literally world domination, and maybe some people just won't like that. Um, I kind of think that'd be kind of cool. I kind of would like this show has always been the show for me to go against the grain, and I think I would like to see Homelander kind of win, and I think that it would just be different. Like I don't kind of want to just see the good guys win at the end, and it's kind of like off into the sunset like every other fucking show and every other TV series and movie and comic book and everything, like where the good guy always wins. I think this should be the one that's different. Like I think this is the one where the villain actually wins in the end, in my opinion.
Mhm.
I think that would be cool, but I understand why a lot of people would be upset by that. That's
Yeah,
kind
I
of where I
mean,
see it going.
it's always great when we get the opposite of what we were expecting, and I
Yeah.
think that's what I like about, thriller movies, suspense movies. I think things like that are not even really a dime a dozen anymore. It's more so it's like with I Am Legend, where Will Smith's character, like, I think it's Neiman or something like that, or Nemen or Nimmer. I can't remember his name. Um he essentially, like, in the original ending, was basically scared into giving back the subject that he was working on, because the main enemy of him was, like, had cornered him downstairs, and basically wanted his mate back. And he gives her back, and then he says sorry, and then the thing just, like, screams at him, and then, like, he's basically, like, tearing up. He's like, well, I fucking failed, there's no cure.
Hmm.
um and I think that, like, was a very fitting end, but they changed it so that he essentially sacrifices himself, but also allows for a cure to be set up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's interesting that they kind of retconned it a little bit. Like you don't see them do that very often in movies where they kind of
Yeah.
change it and they'll release a different ending. I think it's cool. I like it. And back when they did that, like that was like back in the days where it was like, oh, did you like buy the DVD and see like this secret ending and stuff like that? It was cool to kind of it was a kind of a secret thing nearly. It wasn't really well
Mhm.
known. That was cool. I like that. I miss those kind of things. Like that doesn't really happen much anymore. You know, it's hard to do that sort of
Yeah,
stuff now. I
I
think now
agree.
the equivalent to it these days is like, a different or like an extended cut of a movie is like not on Netflix or something, and it's like, you have to maybe like buy it to get like a different version of it or something like that. Like, like that's kind of the most we kind of see these days.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, look, I think The Boys is good. Like I think as overall, like it would be a show that I would like to revisit in a couple of years' time and do like a kind of bingey rewatch of it and see how it kind of sits after a few years. Like I think it's great. Like it deserves the ratings that it gets.
I
I
still
just
think it'll end well, though. Like,
I
it's
hope
got to
so.
be,
I hope so, man.
like, I think when he's saying that people won't like it, maybe hopefully that means that people won't like the fact that, you know like, it's going to end horribly.
Yeah, well, he said like, and I think like, if he's done like obviously supernatural and stuff like that. Like you can never make everybody happy. Like that's kind of a universal thing. Like there's always going to be people that are going to be angry with anything that you make.
Hmm.
But I think he said it's a fairly like divisive end from I presume people that he's shown it to. Maybe it's a kind of 50-50 split. Some people go one way with it, some people go the other. So like that's obviously going to happen on a global scale as well. So um like law of averages or whatever, like if he showed it to like 100 people and it was like a 50-50, like it's pretty like confirmed that it's going to do that like out in the public as well. So
Hmm.
I don't know, like it's that's kind of the show though, right? Like they've kind of been poking fun at the left and right for years, and I think some people get upset about it, some people think it's hilarious. The show's never going to satisfy everybody. That's just the nature of it, like
Right.
so yeah, like I'm fully committed. I want it to end well. I really do. I hope I'm not disappointed when it comes to it. But yeah, look, we've got 2 weeks more to kind of figure it out. I think the finale airs on the 20th of May. Next week we'll have the second last episode, and we'll have the Punisher series to talk about as well. So the next podcast can be pretty cool too. And then obviously the week after we'll have the finale, which is titled Blood and Bone. I'm just reading here, so um, yeah, sounds messy. So yeah, let's see what happens.
That'll be good for
Um,
sure.
fuck yeah, dude. We didn't really talk about Invincible and the ending of Invincible. What did you think of that? Have you read the comics actually? Because I know some people in the chat and some people who listen to this are bigger fans of Invincible than I am anyway. But um, are you like, do you know what actually happens? Like, have you read the comics?
Um,
Do you know the end?
no, I've never read the comics, but I know what happens. So I don't know how it ends. I just know, like, there's there's a handful of things that are going to occur in the next season that a lot of people are excited about.
I saw one thing again. It's kind of one of those shows where I'm like blissfully just like, Matt Murdock blindly walking along, just not knowing really anything and just like experiencing the show for what
Mhm.
it is and nothing else. And that's been really nice, and I've really enjoyed that. Like I don't want to know what happens. Whereas I was on, I don't know if it was TikTok or Twitter or one of these fucking sites the other day, and I saw like I started watching this clip not knowing what it was, and then it just like threw like the biggest spoiler for the show in ever, and I was genuinely upset. Like I just couldn't believe what I saw. Like I don't even want to repeat it here in case someone hears what I say and it pisses them off as well. But I heard like what I presume is a big plot point for next season, and it was just really sad to hear because I was like, oh, that would have been such a nice surprise because I would not have predicted it at all, and just to see it blind would have been so nice. Like to not know it was coming would have just been like,
Mhm.
oh fuck, this is crazy. So that sucks for me. Like, yeah. So I was kind of hoping that didn't happen. I kind of knew as well about Eve and the baby and stuff like that. Like I didn't know what happened, and I don't know if they changed storylines or whatever. Again, I try to stay away from it, but sometimes you see like panels from the comics and stuff like that. But I kind of knew that Eve was going to get pregnant, but I didn't know she was going to give it up. So that was a shock for me. I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really loved episode 7 was absolutely phenomenal. It's like I'm looking at IMDb here, 47,000 reviews, a 9.9 out of 10, almost perfection. Like, yeah, can't argue there. Absolutely phenomenal, so intense. Like I was literally like clenching my fists sitting watching it. Like I was like so tense watching it. It was phenomenal. And then the finale I thought was really, really good as well. Um, really good. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it turned out just as I expected it to be, and I thought it was great. I think the change for Tech Jacket was a good idea. Because then you add more women to the roster, which I think it desperately needed. And Tech Jacket is likable, so like it worked out. I don't know if you knew this, but like Shrinking Ray actually was supposed to be dead. From that whole like I can't remember what they were called. It wasn't the Snake Army or something like that. I can't remember like the that reptile gang, basically like that one massive dude that the basically Shrinking Ray got into his like throat and tried to expand in him, and then he just like crushed him. So like in the comics, Shrinking Ray is a guy and essentially gets crushed
Hmm.
um in that body. So then like he's pretty much dead. He's gone. But in the show itself, they decided to keep her alive. They decided to just kind of move forward with keeping Shrinking Ray alive for the time being, which I think worked well because then like it was like, okay, well, the only thing that they're doing different is that they're still making it so that they're out of commission by having them quit being a hero, which I thought was
Hmm.
really cool.
Yeah. I can't get over like how good the like the voice acting is in the show and everything, and just like looking at the roster of actors now, it's just that's phenomenal, so
Mhm.
good. I like it's such a fucking heavy hitter cast as well. Like you can tell that's where all the money goes. Like it's like guys, we can't afford to animate because we just have to pay so many great actors. Like it's insane. Um,
I mean, but
I've
who cares about the animation if the story's good though?
No, I know. I agree. I do agree. And like they're like as I say, it could be freeze frames. It could be someone flicking a page, and I'll still want to pay attention. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I was like seeing some people like reanimate the show themselves, like and put it up on socials and stuff. And like someone was just like showing the scene with Mark killing Conquest, and they like reanimated it a little bit and added some extra like shading and stuff like that, and it looked incredible, man.
I thought it
It
looked like
looked
shit. I
it
thought it
looked
looked
so
like
cool.
absolute shit. It
I thought it
was
looked
just like
really cool.
it was unnatural. Like it was so unnaturally done.
I think if you had see if that was like what you were presented originally, I think you wouldn't notice. I think you're just used to what was officially given. But I thought it looked
Yeah.
fucking sick, man.
Yeah, because what's originally given is what should be. Like I like so many people want to correct things and fix items, and there was nothing wrong with any parts of it. Like, and if you're saying that like it looked like shit animation wise, then you're just spoiled because like you didn't grow up with all of these older animations that had like things that they were working towards, but they still had amazing stories that came with them. So who gave a shit about like what the animations look like? If I didn't care about the story, I would probably nitpick every little bit of it and be like, "Oh man, that looked like shit. Oh man, that looked terrible." But like, you know, like don't bark at me and tell me that animations are bad. I've seen it all.
Yeah.
I've seen horrible animations. I've seen fantastic animations. I've seen bad stories with great animations. I've seen good at like I've seen amazing stories with bad animation. People like again, I will go back to One Piece. People shit on One Piece because they think it's like it's too goofy looking or the animation's terrible. But if you actually sat down and watched it, you wouldn't give a shit because you would actually care so much about the story that you wouldn't care.
Yeah.
But like nobody, but you look at you basically judge the book by its cover, and I think that's horrible. I think it's a very bad thing to do.
It's a saying for a reason, yeah.
Yeah, because
That's
to
why they
be
make so much live action as well. I know you're always harping on about wanting animation more, but that's the reason why they don't do it, is because the vast majority of the audience that they're looking to capture won't watch anime. That's just the way it is. Like Japanese anime, like that's a whole different thing that's like starting to come into the West a lot more now. You're definitely ahead of the curve, like to the standard population. It's definitely starting to ramp up now, but for the most part, like trying to get normal Joes and their girlfriends to go to the cinema to watch an animated movie is very hard to do. Like, you know, like
I don't
people
know,
that
man.
aren't anime fans.
I don't know, man. Those Demon Slayer movies.
They were good, but I can tell you now personally, I don't. Not one person that I know in real life would go to see that movie with me. I had to go by myself to both of them.
You need to
Like
get better friends then.
but I'm proving the point. Like out of every single person that I know, none of my friends would go to see that movie with me. Like all of them don't like anime.
But that
So
also makes sense because you're not an anime person.
exactly. But I am a person that these companies really want the money off. You know, I'm
Mm, I
part of that
mean,
demographic, like for sure.
I guess it just I don't know. Like I if you don't like it, you know, then you don't like it. I would still recommend that you watch it, but like if you know, what am I gonna do? Like I'm not gonna force you to watch any sort of shows. The only thing I can do is just express to you how amazing the show is
And
and try to get you to.
I believe you, but it's
You
just
don't believe me.
it
You
doesn't
don't
sell.
believe me. You absolutely don't believe me.
Oh, I do.
If you cared about me at any point in your life, Finto, you would watch one episode. I would leave you the fuck alone if you at least watched the first episode.
I'm pretty sure I did already.
Ah, bullshit.
Yeah, I did. I've seen enough of it to know it's not for me.
You've seen enough of it. That doesn't tell me you watched the first episode. Don't you know, you can't piss on my back and say it's raining, dude. Like fucking give me the goddamn results.
Yeah, no, I
Being
don't.
bad, turn me around, piss on my face, and tell me you're pissing on my face.
I don't know. Look, I watched a good bit of like Jujutsu Kaisen and stuff, and just yeah, wasn't for me either.
Yeah. And have I told you to keep watching it?
Not in a while, but I'm
I'm,
sure if
I'm
we
not
talk
going to
about
tell
it
you to
now,
keep watching if you don't like it.
yeah, well, this is it. Like this is it's not my kind of thing. Like I would prefer to watch something like the Maul show that just finished. That'd be something because again, I'm more into the Star Wars lore than I would be into anything else.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I did enjoy the first season of the live action One Piece. I can't get through season two. And I think it's just the time of the year that it is. There's just so much other stuff on. It fell right to the bottom of my list. I think I watched 3 or 4 episodes of it, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I'll get around to it at some point. I probably will finish it soon now that like all the madness is kind of drying up a little bit from March, April, and May. But yeah, right now it's just like no, I don't have any time for that.
Um, eh, I'm not going to say anything.
No, you don't need to. I know you'll die. I know you'll die on that hill. um, are you guys watching From? I've actually been recommended this show a
No,
few times by a few people. I have the first 2 seasons lined up, and I'm gonna give it a go. It kind of looks like a kind of, again, I don't know anything about it, but I watched like the launch trailer for the show. It like kind of looks like a kind of horror version of like uh Lost or something like that. Where
that's
like
pretty cool.
they go into this town and they end up getting like they're trying to escape the town, but like they're driving out the exit, they could loop back around, they're kind of stuck in like Groundhog Day sort of thing. But it looks like it kind of breaks into this like real like mystery horror show or some shit.
That sounds pretty
Um
cool.
I I think it like again, I I can't remember. I think it was BB was mentioned it to me originally, and I've heard like a few people talking about it on the Discord and stuff like that. Yeah, pretty good description. Nice. Okay, let's go. That was completely off the dome. That was like me watching one trailer, kind of just trying to piece it together. Like there's like 4 seasons of the show, but yeah, like I was looking at, again, I don't mind trying new things like this, like, and literally it's like sitting on a 7.8, and I hear it's like definitely the first couple of seasons are meant to be very good. So I'll try it. I'll definitely try it. I'm always looking for things to watch with the missus. Like when we have a bit of downtime, I showed her the trailer, but she's kind of like, nah, I don't know. It kind of looks a bit predictable or whatever. But I'll see if I can get her through the first like episode or two, and if she doesn't like it, maybe it'll just be something I watch on my lunch breaks or something like that.
Ah, mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
She's much harder to fucking please than I am. I'll tell you that. I can't even get her to watch the first episode of Demon Slayer, which is like the easiest anime to get into.
I just, I just, I'm just smiling because I'm like, I can give you so much shit right now.
I know. Well, this is it, man. This is it. We have our tastes,
Yeah,
Um,
no, I totally understand.
that's just I would be definitely more inclined to sit and try and watch more anime if I could do it with her, like, because it'd be easier because we have a lot more free time together than we do apart, like, so
Yeah, and then you have stuff to talk about.
exactly. And if there's a good movie that comes out that I want to go see, we can go see it together, like, so I don't have to go by myself. Be that weirdo sitting at the cinema by himself.
Ah, it's
So
fine to go to the movies on your own, dude. It's
no,
actually really nice sometimes.
I've done it a few times. It's fine. I'm kind of joking, but it's not. It's better to go with people though than go on your own.
Yeah, no,
I think.
absolutely.
Yeah. Just to give a quick kind of, if you like Lost, you'll love From. Okay.
Oh
I
God,
didn't really watch much Lost. I kind of missed the Lost train. Like I wasn't really into it when it was new. I lost. Yeah, it lost me. But then I heard like how it ended, and I was like, I'm never watching that show now. Like I heard like the kind of big twist at the end, and I was like, yeah, fuck that show. I'm not watching that. But like Lost was huge over here when it was airing and stuff. It was one of those shows that started back in a time when TV like wasn't caught up. Like like the new episode of The Pit airs and it airs around the world on the same day. Like that's what TV's kind of
Mhm.
like now. Whereas like when I was a kid, TV was like 6 months, 8 months behind over here to like America. So like when Prison Break was airing, for example, like season one was only starting on TV over here, and season two was nearly halfway done over there. Like, so I was able to like download all the episodes and burn them to like DVD ROMs and stuff and give them to my friends in school and just be like, oh, you like that show that just came out? Yeah, here's the whole first season. Enjoy, like, and then it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's like, oh, you like season one? Yeah, there's half of season two. Won't be out here till next year. Like, people were just like, holy shit, can you make me a copy of that? Like, it was so funny. Like, um, but like, yeah, that was like fucking, what was that, like 2005 or something like that, like 2006. So yeah, I don't know. You pirate, yeah, sail in the seven seas, still do it to this day, and don't care. I would happily pay for stuff like this show From, for example. I pay for, I'll tell you, I'll list it out. I pay for Netflix, I pay for Prime, I pay for Apple, I pay for Paramount, I pay for HBO Max. Um, what else do I pay for? I think they're all the main streaming services that I pay for. And I searched every single one of them, and From isn't on any of them. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to torrent it then. I'm paying like $150 a month. Like, if you can't provide me that show in any of those fucking services, I'm going to fucking pirate it. I don't care.
That's
Fuck
fair.
that. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. I'm doing my part. I'm paying. There's people that torrent everything and don't pay for anything. I think I do my part. Fuck that. FPS games, movies, TV, everything. I respect the shit out of that, Griff. I respect it. I hate having to I have my own NAS drive in the house and I kind of create my own internal kind of file share. And it'll wirelessly share to all of our TVs. So I create like a TV folder and then I'll do like subfolders and shows and shit and like season 1, 2 and all that stuff. Doesn't look
Mhm.
pretty, but it gets you there. But I would hate to do that for everything that I watch. It'd be quite annoying having to manage everything. So it's nice to have the streaming services.
Fair enough.
It's on MGM Plus. That doesn't even exist in Ireland, man. MGM Plus doesn't even exist over here. I think it's part of a subcategory of like some cable package, which I'm not going to fucking pay for. So, you know, first season's free on Prime. Not in here. Not here. My Prime is different to your Prime. That's annoying. Um, the Irish Prime is different to the American Prime, and the Australian Prime is different to the Irish Prime and the American Prime put together. And I remember when I first got Netflix, you were able to put like a DNS into the Apple TV, and you could put
Mhm.
like an American DNS into it, and then I could get the American Netflix. So what I'd do is I'd sign into the Irish Netflix on like the Samsung app on the TV itself, and then I'd boot up a Apple TV and I'd put in like a DNS for the USA, and then I'd have like the US one. So I'd have like two different Netflix libraries, and I'd bounce them off each other. I'd be like,
Oh,
okay, I'm gonna
nice.
watch like this show here, that show over there. VPN, it says Dan. Yeah, but I hate sitting in front of my computer watching stuff. I like to watch stuff on the big screen down in the family room, and I can't VPN on the TV or on an Apple TV anymore. Apple have blocked all that shit. You can't do any of that anymore, which sucks, but it is what it is.
They're getting smarter and they're trying to keep you from not paying them.
Yeah, or they would just want you to pay extra. Is what it is, I suppose. But yeah, unfortunately, VPN is not the answer for the way that I watch stuff. If I was sitting in front of my laptop, maybe, but I hate sitting in front of my laptop. Like I had to watch because again, Wednesdays are still pretty busy, like Daredevil and the boys and stuff like that.
Mhm.
To even be here on time, I have to kind of watch the boys like right before we go live. So I've had to watch Daredevil on my lunch breaks and work, and I'm sitting in front of like a monitor in the office with my headset on watching Daredevil. Like, not ideal. I would love to be sitting at home watching it on my OLED TV and experiencing it properly with surround sound and stuff like that. But sometimes you got to bite the bullet. But I would not choose to ever do that. And sometimes we do movie nights in Discord and stuff. Like
Mhm.
I'll play the movie in Discord, but I go downstairs and watch it on the TV. Like I'm not I'm not sitting in front of my computer watching a movie. Like it's not something I ever do if I ever have the choice.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Um, just to go into a little bit of the Maul show as well. That finished on Monday. I don't think you have any interest in watching it yourself. It finished
I
on
I
Star
I
Wars
just
Day.
haven't I just haven't had a chance to really like get into it because I was trying to catch up on Daredevil.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm
It's a pretty short one. It's not a massive commitment. And I really like how they released it. The schedule was like really good. They did like 2 episodes a week, like
mhm.
40 minutes a week. I thought it was really well done. Um, and the show was just like I'm looking here, and again, I know I'm kind of fixating on ratings and stuff, but I always like to kind of see what the fans think of the stuff. And like the lowest rating I can see on IMDb is like a 7.9 for episode 2, and like the rest of it was just like high eights, high nines, even towards the end of the season, like 9.6. The finale got a 9.8. Like it was fucking epic. Like it was great. It was really, really good. I won't talk about the finale because if you're gonna watch it, it's nice to kind of just experience it. But the way they end the show, it kind of like feels like they're really. And I saw someone like post talking about how like apparently there's rumors going around that they might try and retcon the sequels. And I know George's original sequel trilogy was to be about Maul's return, and he was gonna be the Dark Lord of the Sith, and he would like get his own apprentice and stuff like that. And I feel like they're really trying to do this in this show now. So like
Mhm.
this is kind of George's sequels. So they're I believe they're confirmed for season 2 of this already, and it's not going to be. I think they're working on it already. So like it's going to be out like probably probably, same time next year at the latest, which is great. If they do 10 more episodes, fantastic. If it's the same kind of quality as this, brilliant. Keep it coming. Your man Sam Witwer, who voices Maul, is just the biggest Star Wars nerd in the world. Like, he's no better man to do it. There's a lot of like cool behind the scenes kind of making of the show stuff online you can check out if you want, and just seeing how they like did some of the choreography, like, and they kind of he was actually doing like acting for it, like they've painted his face and stuff like that, and did like facial tracking and stuff like that. So it was very well made. I really liked how I don't know if you've seen any of it at all yet, but they did like really cool things, like with the backgrounds in the series. Like, it was all like, it looked like oil paintings and stuff like that. It was a very kind of unique style of anime, where like, you'll see a ship come in, but it's just again, it's kind of like Invincible in a way. Like, it's just like freeze frames, and then like you'll see like a little animated ship kind of move across what looked like a canvas nearly, and it just really worked. But then obviously when they go into like the actual scenes with the characters and stuff, it just kind of morphs back to the Star Wars anime that like that kind of style. But I
Mhm.
really loved watching all those like just looking at all those paintings basically of all the cities and stuff like that. I just thought it was really cool. Um, you meet some kind of cool characters who are on like the light side of things. Like, there's a cop that you're kind of following around for half the season named Lawson. I saw a lot of people complaining that he was getting too much screen time and stuff like that, but I think it kind of pays off well in the end. And then as well, like, there's a Jedi and an apprentice who are trying to stay away from Maul. They try and fight him and all this sort of stuff. And then, again, they have a good end as well to the season two. And I think the apprentice is going to like turn to the dark side, and she'll be like Maul's apprentice. I think that's pretty much like where it's going. That's the way they've led it in. That's what they've led it to. But maybe she'll kind of do that flip again back to the light side or something. I don't know what's going to happen, but it was really well done. I really enjoyed
Mm.
every single episode of it. It was very, very good. And just the fact that I thought they released it really well, 2 episodes a week, and then they had it for the finale. The last 2 episodes aired on May the 4th, Star Wars Day. Beautiful, perfect marketing, perfect release schedule. And then obviously we have the Grogu and Mando movie coming out in like a couple of weeks' time. I don't know why they just didn't release that in the same day. Like, have a big like fucking Star Wars Day. You wake up in the morning, watch the all episodes, then go to the theater to see the new movie and stuff. Like, in my opinion, like, that would have just been epic. Like, just release it all on Star Wars Day. Obviously, they have their plans. Like, they've got a different idea, but I thought that would have been cool as shit.
Probably too
Um,
much. Probably too much clashing between different outputs. You don't want to like
yeah,
overdo it.
I like. I always kind of, it brings me back when, like, do you remember when, like, I don't know if you ever watched Agents of Shield, for example. Like, they used to do a thing where the Agents of Shield episode, like, that used to be linked in with the MCU, and what they did was, like, season two of the show ended, like, the finale was them giving the scepter, like, finding the scepter, and then like Coulson basically going, I need to make a call. And then like literally Avengers 2 happened. And I thought that was so fucking cool. Like, you literally you watched that on the Thursday or Wednesday night or whatever it was. And then literally the next day you were going to the cinema to see the movie. And it was like just a direct continuation of that show. I thought that was fucking cool as shit, man. And like, that's what I've always wanted. I've always wanted like a complete connection between the small screen and big screen. Like, and I think like if the way that they've just finished Daredevil, for example, like if that properly led into the Punisher series, and then whatever happens there properly leads into Spider-Man 4, and then we go maybe back to the small screen for Daredevil 3, and then we go to Doomsday. Like, I think that would be so fucking cool. And then you're keeping the fan, like most of the hardcore fan base, properly like engaged in everything that's going on, because like it is must see TV, like, it is must see
Mhm.
movies. So I don't know. I think they had it right years ago and they kind of let it slip away. Sucks. Anything else you want to bring up before we head off for the week?
The I believe is Wit Studio. Wit Studio, the people that are working on developing the Netflix series The One Piece, which is a remake of the original setup.
Okay.
They have released some like a still for like showing Luffy in the bar with Shanks, and they've announced that in 2027 they're going to start showing they're going to start running the show. And I
Okay.
think it's going to be a burst. Like, you're going to get all episodes for that season in one shot.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, like you're excited for that?
I'm excited to see like what newcomers think, because that will essentially help the original show get more bearings, for not get more bearings, but like get more viewership.
Hmm.
Um because I think that people will be excited to watch it, and then also be curious as to the original setup. So then they'll probably go and check out the original show, like not from probably not from like the very beginning, but maybe afterwards, like wherever it leaves off, and then maybe they'll continue on from there. Or there might be people who are just like, you know what, this was great. I'm gonna wait for the next season to pop up, and I'll just keep going from that point on. Which um, that's also a good strategy for, you know. I'm hoping that it does well, so that people really start to see how wonderful the show is.
Yeah, I'd love to know from like a numbers point of view. Like, I'd love to know how many people watched like the live action, for example, after season one and went, I'm gonna start from episode one and buy a Crunchyroll subscription. I'm gonna watch every single episode. I'd
Oh,
love to
dude,
know those metrics. I'm
I
sure they're out
like
there somewhere.
I'm sure there are, but like you could go on Reddit, and most of the time I saw on Reddit that like they were essentially um there were essentially a lot of people who had posted things like, finished the first season of live action, it was amazing. Where can I actually watch this? Like I want to check this out, you know.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Oh, me and my significant other thought this was great. We're actually going to start the act like the animated show now, because we're really interested, and we're hoping to like see if the animation is just as good as the live action," which I thought that was kind of funny. They're like, "Oh, I wonder if the animation's better than the live action." And other people, like I've seen posts where it's like, I watched the live action, now I'm 100 episodes into the animation. Like
Yeah.
people really got in, like people that weren't interested in One Piece actually got into it after watching it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's bound to happen. I'd love to just know at what scale though, because like,
I thought you weren't a numbers guy.
well, like I am
I'm just
definitely like, I'm not going to judge something by the numbers, but I'm always curious of the numbers, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm just messing with you, dude. It's
uh,
it's always a funny thing.
like it's yeah, like I'd love to, like, because again, I think even like if they, this new show that they're doing, I would say again is going to probably appeal more to the anime people than the live action people, maybe, or I don't know. Yeah, like maybe like I'll give it a go. I'll watch episode one of this new show that comes out. I think it's a better kind of jumping on point for someone like me.
Well, the pacing will be better because it wasn't a like the. So I understand why people are upset about the pacing in the original series, because it was essentially, if you were to watch any sort of old anime, and I would say even like with Dragon Ball Z, and whatnot, that was the style back then. You had your standoffs, you would have your like moments where basically there's conversation, things are, you know, things are being said, and then the fight ensues. And so also it wouldn't, like One Piece wouldn't exist if not for Toriyama. And Toriyama is the mangaka that created the Dragon Ball series. And Oda grew high inspiration from it. He considered like Toriyama to essentially be his inspiration, his mentor. Um, you know, he took a lot from what was in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and morphed it into his own series, which then became One Piece. And then from that point on, like you could see little tidbits of One Piece taking reference from like Dragon Ball. There's even special episodes where Luffy meets Goku. There's, you know, another one, I can't remember the name of it now. I won't mention it. It essentially like it took what Dragon Ball had, like what Dragon Ball had, was inspired by it, and then created this massive story that became even longer than Dragon Ball, and became one of the most beloved series in all of anime and manga. Like it hit the top of the charts for a lot of areas. I know that Demon Slayer like really caught up really quick, but then One Piece like just took it over again.
Mhm.
There's a lot of like, you know, back and forth where anytime you see like a masterpiece of an anime or a manga, it will always be compared to One Piece because
Yeah.
it's just that became the new like golden standard, because it was just an amazing show. But the pacing is very much in the Japanese standoff style. I would say like samurai. I don't know if you've ever watched a samurai movie.
No.
Um, it's essentially like it's kind of like it's kind of like Wild West kind of situation. You know, they come at high noon in the sense they draw swords, and then it's the anticipation of who strikes first, or what like are the swords going to clash? Who strikes first? What is essentially going to take place? And then when the strike actually happens, is it a one shot kill, or did they both take each other out, or whatnot? And so it creates that like suspense, and so that's what you get with One Piece. But um, they also had to fill in time for the manga to actually like get far enough ahead so that they would have resources to make the next episode. Because when the anime started, you know, the manga's still going on. It's still like it's always been catching up to the manga, so that's why when you finish the first set of arcs and you get into the Grand Line, like, or no, before you get into the Grand Line, you hit Logetown and then you're on your way to Reverse Mountain. It creates this like, well, the animators created a filler arc that was like these dragons and shit. I skipped it. Like I you know, at that point I was already far enough away from like those, like I didn't have to watch those filler episodes. I wasn't watching on a daily basis until I got to around, I would say, the 500 to 600 episodes, and then I had to watch on a weekly basis.
Mhm.
um and so it did take its time, and the runtime for each episode essentially spans about half a chapter to a chapter, um which is kind of bad. So every 2 episodes would be a chapter, which can be very like draining for people. That's why there were
Yeah.
so many that's why there were so many ways that people tried to make like updates to One Piece, you know, when they made the site called One Piece, where essentially they cut out a lot of the things that they considered filler. But then people would complain and say, well, that's like you're not really supposed to take stuff out because that's just the way that the show
Part of the
is
story.
now.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And other people, you know, when the Fishman Island arc got a reboot, like a remake essentially, and it was redone, the animation was beautiful, but people were complaining about the pacing. They said that
Yeah.
it took out way more episodes than it should have, and it didn't really give it time to like, you know, cook in the sense like to bake and to be a very well designed arc. The original is still good, but it does have those slog moments. But I mean, I was so used to it. Like once you're 500 episodes in, if you're still complaining about it, you got a problem. Like you know, that's like saying you hate the show and yet you're on like the most recent episode.
Yeah. Like, there's no way people are gonna get that far in if they're having problems with it. Like,
Right. So like just it's probably complaining for the sake of complaining. So
internet's
the
full of that,
all
all right.
right. So all of this to basically say that the new One Piece like reboot in the sense, it's called The One Piece. It's going to be published by Netflix. It's going to be helmed by Wit Studio. They're doing the animations. It's going to be like better on the animations. It's supposed to be a like kind of shot for shot for like between the manga and the animation,
Yeah.
and it's going to essentially be a lot shorter because it's going to be based on the amount of chapters per arc, and not
Yeah.
just, you know, and not just take up time because the manga was being caught up to. So every time that you like, if you were to watch the original, every time you got filler, like like 8 to 10 episodes of filler, that was because Oda was like, I need more time to get the next arc done, or the next set of arcs done, so that you guys have things to work with. Otherwise, it would have taken probably twice as long to get to where we are. We probably would have taken us 50 years just to get like to where we are now, because it just, like he was working his ass off. He would work like ungodly hours. He would only get like 3 hours of sleep. Sometimes he wouldn't sleep throughout the week, and he would be basically tearing his eyes out trying to get this done. And then finally, in the most recent arc where we're in Elbath, like where he took a step back and was like, "Look, I like people are complaining that the animation isn't crispy enough. They feel like the pacing is still taking a shit. Even though with the Egghead arc, like each like it was only a few episodes. It was literally 1-to-1 chapter to, like chapter per episode. It was 1-to-1, which is great. People love that. People had a great time with that. Like it was fantastic. It worked out well. I thought Egghead was a really good arc. People were scared that Elbath was going to take forever, but they've taken a step back. They're doing the standard runtime of like the modern day, which is 26 episodes a year. And it sounds like it's going to be like 13 episodes straight, so like an episode per week, and then another 13 episodes later on. So half a year's worth of work is now done within the year, so that it also gives Oda some time to, get the manga going and kind of like work its way towards the end, and actually be what it should be by the time we get to the end of it, which is a masterpiece of a visual that is also story driven and insanely well done.
Yeah, it's got such a hardcore fan base. Like, it's you can't show it anything but respect. I may never watch it. That's fine, but I can always, I can see the greatness in it. Like, it's just not for me. But I'll try. I'll try the new one.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna call it there. I'm pretty tired. It's almost 1 a.m. my time here, so I'm gonna get some sleep. But massive shout out to anybody who was here live. If you're listening to us on a replay, or if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple, we're getting a lot of listens over there. So massive shout out to anybody who's still listening to us now. Really appreciate it. Leave us a comment below us. Hit all the buttons, like and subscribe, and all those beautiful things. And we'll see you soon. Take it easy, guys. Bye bye.
Later.